What is up? Oh, there you go. Lack of producers and assistants in the background leads to snafus like that. Kevin Hale here. It is Round of Shots on this Sunday night, December 18th, 2022. Hope everyone has had a great Sunday weekend as we head into, I guess you do call it Christmas week. Christmas is next weekend. Hope everyone is able to do something with the family, with close friends, in proximity of those you love and care for. Round of Shots tonight streaming on our Twitter and YouTube pages. As of right now, this is scheduled to be the last ROS show of 2022, unless I kind of do a one-off on a different night. But as far as the Sunday nights go, there's as Carrie Lewis has said, there's more important things than Kevin Hale on the next two Sunday nights. So just saying. And with that, that smile says it all. When I do anything to put a smile on your face, Carrie, I'm all for it. Just saying.
Yeah. The sinus bug has bit me this week.
Oh,
so, yeah.
I feel you. And there's like a crazy cold front coming in next week where,
Yeah. So I will try to get through. It'll be fine. I will try to mute myself as much as possible if I'm going to cough, so I don't cough in everybody's ear.
Or just wait till someone has a bad take and then start coughing.
There you go. Yeah. It's
well, then that means
the mute, the bleep button or whatever. The dump button.
The dump. Joining us also tonight, Corey Price. Corey, what's up, man?
I'm doing all right. Kevin,
how are you? I'm good. Good to see you, sir. B Styles, Van Hiles. Van, what's up?
I'm just here so I won't get fired.
I know. It's fine. Not fired. Fired. You would be suspended, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And completing us tonight, the doc is in the house. John, how are you, sir?
Hey, I'm doing fantastic, Kevin. Thanks for letting me hop on periodically like this. I do want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas, and especially after undergoing the last two nights of Kentucky men's basketball and women's basketball. I just appreciate having this group of therapists around to help me out. I need it. Thank you so much.
Well, thank everyone also who's hanging out with us in Cyberland in the chat. And I see you out there. She says, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays to all fam. Thanks, Ann. Same to you and yours. Let's get at it. Topics that I'm going to throw at you guys. We're going to do the takeaways from the UCLA game. UCLA, UCLA, whatever. It was ugly. Not a good performance yesterday. What does this mean for UK basketball after what are they, 7-3 now, 10 games in? What's everybody feeling? We'll talk some Kentucky football. They've had a productive week when it has come to the portal. Landed another get today, I think, from Ohio State. Was that
yeah.
So
Dunn from what he's from?
He's from Bowling, right?
Green?
Bowling Green, yeah. So a Kentucky kid coming home, making the full circle. And it's like I said, this is been labeled the final show of 2022. So assuming that's the case, we're gonna go do the cheesy year in review where I'll ask everyone to give me some hot take from the past year when it comes to UK sports and anything nationally that has taken off. So Terry Brown should be with us. As soon as he joins us, he'll get in here. But Carrie, I'm gonna start with you. Did you watch the game yesterday?
I did.
With enthusiasm?
Nope. I got exactly what I expected. I am beyond indifferent to this team, to the program at this point. I watch with great indifference, and when they do exactly what I thought they were going to do, I shrugged my shoulders and I moved on to a bowl game. I mean, that's my take. I have I've really nothing. I can't be a therapist to people because I just don't care. I honestly, that's where I'm at right now. I really just do not care. Win, lose, yay, boo, you suck, you're good, whatever.
So is it fair to say that if there's anybody who is losing their mind with Kentucky men's basketball as of right now, and they're in the deep end of the pool, would you throw them both ends of the rope right now?
I mean, hey, if you wanna lose your mind over this, go for it. I am not going to tell you not to do that. Everybody processes things differently. We all grieve differently, right? There's the steps of grieving. I am currently at indifference. I think I'm at the last one, which is I am indifferent to what's happening. And everybody fans differently. And if it helps you to lose your mind, lose your mind. Hey, it's entertaining to me because more entertained I could not be on Twitter after something like this happens.
Same. And of course, with me, I'm kind of this pot stir, shit disturber when it comes to BBN after games like yesterday. Corey, what was your feeling after the UCLA game?
Pretty close to about as worse as the offense has been under Cal. Just the fifth time we scored 53 or less under Cal, and 3 of the 4 that were worse were on that 2013 team, which
Goodwin.
Yes,
Archie. Yeah.
Just the second time under Cal that we shot worse than 40% on 2s, 3s, and free throws. Yeah, the 2011 Final Four game against UConn was the only other time that happened.
Kirk, hold on. We shot under 40% for the free throw line?
Yes, I think it's like 38.
5 of 13, right? Was that the?
I knew it was bad. It's worse than that because we missed a few front ends too, so it's really worse.
And I think fans, the first half of Cal's tenure, were thrilled when these types of games came about. The Dukes, UNC's, Michigan State, Ohio State, Bruins. I put a tweet out there that we were 9-4 against those schools between 2010 and 2015, and since 2016 we're 9-15 against those schools. So it's not. I mean, we're getting to a point where it's not even fun to play these games anymore. I mean, we think we're going to lose, which is pretty sad considering the type of program that we are and have been.
Thanks, sir. Doc, speaketh. Talk to us.
I'm not quite ready to panic yet. I think I'm moving from the concern stage into a little bit of the mad stage, and I think after that will come the indifferent stage, and I'll join Carrie in that level. But just the offense, especially, it's just a mess. You've got poor shooting. I think they missed their last 11 shots of the game, especially in crunch time. Constant turnovers. The team still doesn't set any screens. They can't get out on the fast break. I don't think they had a single fast break basket against the Bruins. It almost feels like we were sold a bill of goods with this team. You watch them in the Bahamas, you think this team is long and lean. They're going to be running up and down the court, blocking shots, protecting the rim. They supposedly got these 2 or 3 dead-eye shooters that are going to be knocked down three-point shooters. None of that has come to fruition. I almost feel like that we have grounds for some sort of lawsuit. This has to be false advertising, doesn't it?
False advertising. That is an argument. Van, what say you yesterday and your feelings right now with the program?
I don't think it's any different from what I said last week. They had a guy, Jamie Jacquez, who can get a bucket whenever the hell he wanted to get a bucket. Mm-hmm. We don't have a guy who can get a bucket. Oscar can get a rebound to get a bucket, but you can't trust Oscar to put him on a post to consistently just go to work and get a bucket. And
not for lack of effort, for sure.
No. But that's not in his DNA anyway. When he came here, that wasn't what in his DNA. That's not what expected. Like John said, what I was fed was Toppins was supposed to be that dude now. Now we got a wing
breakout, yeah,
that can be a producer, and he is not that. He passes up shot after shot after shot after shot after shot, then throws up something, then passes up a shot. We just don't have that dude this year. And Cason Wallace, I'm gonna say is too young to do it, but he would probably be our, I guess, the recent guy, our Maxi, but he's not quite there yet. And I mean, for everybody who gets on Severe Wheeler, like I said, I've watched the last 3 games really. If it wasn't for him, we're not in this game at halftime. So I mean, it's kind of, we need a dude, and I don't think we got a dude on this squad because people saying Reeves can get his own shot. I haven't seen it. When your knockdown shooters are supposed to be knockdown shooters and they're not knocking them down, what are they on the court for? It's like I said, this team is just, it's weird right now.
Very weird. Because to John's point, Terry, welcome. How are you? Good to see you.
Sorry, I'm on Iowa time. I apologize, folks.
No, you're good. You're good. So we're just kind of doing the takeaways from yesterday. I think you've heard some of the last few people. All right, let's get you going. What was your takeaway, and then we'll just kind of keep the flow going from there.
Right now we're a bad basketball team, and in a vacuum, maybe we can be more understanding. But after the last 2 years, everything is more magnified, and this team just isn't very good. I mean, that's the bottom line to it. The offense has not been there. The defense hasn't been as stout as it needs to be. So top to bottom, there's a lot of deficiencies in this team that we were told we wouldn't have. So that's what makes them even more glaring now that the games have started.
Yesterday, walk me through the game, guys. So everyone after the game just went at Cal, 100% at Cal. But I'm watching the game and I'm kind of paying attention. We missed, Corey just shared with us some stats. We just missed a lot of shots, and to me, there were. How do and Van, you've said it. Coach is not the one executing, doing all this stuff. We missed a lot. We missed a lot of open shots. We missed free throws. What is the rhyme and reason? Well, CJ Frederick, where was he at? Is he hurt? Because he didn't play at all the second half. So
when you're ineffective,
well, no, I want to make sure. I want to rule out any injury first.
When you're ineffective, how can you buy time? And what I'm sick of people saying is like, oh, why don't we see this lineup? Maybe because that lineup they have run in practice it's not very good. We don't know it's just amazing amount of armchair coaches that we have who said, well, we should do this, we should do that. You know what was crazy? The best lineup we had the second half was freaking Lance Ware and Chris Livingston and Oscar on the floor at the same time. Everybody would, if I would have told you before the game that Lance Ware, Oscar, and Livingston would be our best 3 with Severe and Reeves, people would have been, how can we play Ware and Oscar in the game at the same time? Where are we going to get the shooting from? You know what I'm saying? But obviously that grouping was the best. That's when we made our run.
That was a great impersonation of someone, Van. That was a great impersonation of someone, Van. I don't know who, but it was. Carrie, going back to you. Go to you. You mentioned Livingston. Livingston had a great game yesterday. If in case you didn't catch it.
I watched the whole game. Like, that's what I'm saying. I will watch the games. It's just that I'm not going to lose my mind over it. I'm done with all of that stuff. It's just indifference to me. If we win, yay, I'm glad we won. But if we lose, at this point, especially in big games like this, I've come to expect it. It's really sad, but I have. And I think that a lot of Corey's statistics kind of prove that at this point, to tell you the truth. to kind of statistically expect it. And in terms of CJ Frederick or whatever, I never, ever, 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 ever want to hear about somebody is going to be this 3-point specialist coming in. I don't know how many times I have heard that over the years, and then it just never pans out.
But
It
here's
hasn't.
what. All right, so Corey, you're next up in this food chain. Statistically, Frederick, Kellen Grady, all these 3-point shooters that came in here had some glaring stats from the outside. Now, yes, is it lack of competition, or not lack of lesser competition than what they are playing to now? But to me, an open shot is still an open shot, and these guys are just knocking them down. I mean, throw me some other. You painted a very ugly picture with the that percentage of field goals. Terry, if you heard this, field goals, free throws, and what was the other one? Oh, it was field goal 2%. Yeah, 2s and 3s.
2 points and free throws. Yeah.
All under 40%.
All under
40%. What would be your remedy, Corey, if you could wave a magic wand?
I know.
Is it the coach? Because that's what everyone is. Not, I'll say everyone. A lot of people. You had someone, and I'm not making fun of anybody here, but you had someone go on the big radio show in the state after the game and put out this passionate, with tears and everything, about how bad the program is right now. Passion is what they were calling it. Okay, but what about it, Corey? What's the magic wand? What's the magic bullet here?
I don't know what the magic wand is, but to go back to those numbers, the starting 5 minus Wheeler, so Reeves, Sheway, Toppin, and Wallace, they combined to shoot 20.8% from the field, 10 of 48, 17.6% from 3 of 17, and 30% from the line, 3 of 10.
And they only lost by 10? And they had a chance? Damn.
And that's true. They had a chance.
Wow.
They still had a chance with it.
What Van said was right. Lance was the only guy who had a positive plus minus on the whole team yesterday. He was +8 in the 16 minutes. Livingston did some things that we hadn't seen all year. Toppin continues. I don't know what's wrong. It's been a few games now where I think he's going to break out of it, and he shot 2 for 10. This is the first game where Kaysen looked like he didn't know what he was doing. He's been pretty stout all year, pretty consistent, but not last night. I don't know.
I want to see Carter. Carter says that's a tight ass, Corey. What does Carter know that we don't know?
Does Carter want the porn bot to come out?
Keep talking, Carter.
He's saying that somebody has the lemon booties. And that's
tight ass. I think it's a compliment.
When you, like Carrie said, she came into the game knowing that big team, we're gonna lose. Some of these guys get lemon booty, and it's the worst thing to do in basketball. At least in football, you can kind of hide. You got 10 other teammates. In basketball, there's no hiding from getting a lemon booty. And Jacob Toppin is big on it right now. He will not pull the string. He got one pass at the wing in the second half, and it's like, oh, I know he's gonna pull it. He's like, and he waited and waited. The guy got. I'm like, dude, if you're not gonna shoot, at least face up, pump fake, and go something. You just made it harder than everybody else. When we got in, you get in the rhythm a little bit. You in attack in the lane. I thought you was a 40-something inch vertical jump. Come on, man.
Come on, man. Doc, shot selection has not been good for this team this year. Is it got to the point where, does Cal need to design or call a play every possession?
Well, as the guy on the bottom of the food chain, take my comments with a grain of salt. In fact, take everything I say with a grain of salt here tonight. But I think you're onto something when you talk about shot selection and missing open shots. You have to think, what are the consistent factors over the course of the year? Is it possibility that Calipari may just be putting a little bit too much pressure on these guys? I mean, we hear all the time. My man Johnny Juzang came in here. We got Jamarl Baker, guys who were supposed to be able to be these dead-eye shooters. And then when the lights come on the big stage, they can't throw it in the ocean. Is there something that Calipari is doing in terms of his preparation? The guy's supposed to be a master psychologist. I know he's had psychologists come in and talk to these teams and the shooters. Is there something? Is it overkill? Is he doing a little bit too much to the point where he's kind of just making them freeze when those lights come on? I think there's something to it. I mean, you talk about pressure. Look what happened at St. Peter's against St. Peter's. I hate to think how much pressure there's going to be when that ball goes up for March Madness this year. But yeah, they need to set some screens. If they've got shooters, they've got to get them open. Set a screen every now and then. And you can do more than one. You can do it more than one time on one possession too. Seems
so
like
is it safe to say, Doc, you're not a fan of Wheeler getting the ball with 5 seconds left on the shot clock, and then having
of course not. But on the other hand, I don't think all of that is his fault either.
Oh, no, it's not.
But no, exactly. I think we can all agree that that's not a good situation for that to happen.
Terry, it looks like you were going to say something. Go for it. Jump in.
Oh, no, I was just agreeing with the good doctor, and I think I said this last week, that early on, Cal was able to take all the pressure himself, and the team was able to have fun. You know, John Wall, like those guys were always looking like they're having fun. If anything's changed over the last few years, these players are not having fun. Playing basketball in Kentucky has become a chore. Now, how do you fix that? I don't know, but it just seems like that's the biggest change. If people want to talk about 2015 broke Cal or whatever nonsense that is, it's been the pressure that he's let get to the players. Because we used to see people catch the ball, like Van was saying, and just go with it. But we've seen more hesitation the last few seasons than we did in the first half of Cal's tenure.
Could it be youth? Because this is the thing.
Wait, it could be what?
It could be young. It could be the youth. Could it be? Just think about this. I played basketball at LSU. Played for 2 or 3 years. Now I come to Kentucky. Bigger brand, bigger program. LSU, I got a lot more volume shots, right? I could put up 20 shots when I was at LSU. Now I can only put up 5 to 10 because my team is better, right? Now I got pressure because now I know I only have 1 year here, maybe 2, right? And I'm 22 years old. A lot different when I come from high school. I'm the dude on my team. We grittying and doing all this other stuff, right? I come in here with a different mentality. I think, you know what I'm gonna do, Kevin? I'm gonna blame some of this on the fans because the fans want to take all the credit. The fans say, "Oh, we tired. He's one and done. Can we ever get a chance where we can cheer for a guy for more than 1 or 2 years?" Well, damn it, now you got it. Now you got the chance to cheer for Oscar for 2 years, Jacob Toppin for 2 years. So now these guys come, and I think they're lemon booty because they feel like I only got a little amount of time.
Hashtag lemon booty. That's the thing. I mean, Niner Mike is saying, after a loss, it shows how toxic our fan base can really become. And you're right, it has. Go ahead, Terry, go.
Oh, Niner Mike, go Niners with a big-time win, NFC West championship. So I've said this before, this bears repeating. Mike's exactly right. People want to be miserable, right? So let's just say, I know we can look at the last couple of seasons, and Corey's got the numbers to back things up, but people will tell you because of the last 2 seasons, Kentucky basketball is terrible. It's never going to be good again, despite 100 years to the contrary, right? Like that's the way we perceive things. Whereas football has been good the last 2 or 3 years, bowl games, that kind of stuff, but we still feel the football team is going to be miserable because there's a whole history of 1-win seasons. So people will flip-flop in order to be the most miserable.
No, it's I'm with you, totally with you there. I'm just sharing something here because this has been also the narrative nationally, guys. This is so this comes from CBSSports.com. Criticism continues to mount on Calipari after Kentucky's offense regresses in Big 12. So that's CBS, but that has been the narrative on a lot of the national with the national media taking their focus or taking their focus. They're focusing on Cal right now. But again, I'm watching the game yesterday, and the shots were there. They just didn't hit them. And what's Cal got to do at how do you will a free throw to go in? I don't.
You know what's crazy when you think about it is that they're talking about all offense. What the hell did UCLA do?
That was an ugly. It was both.
That was ugly, man. Yeah. I mean, what we was on, we didn't score with the last 5 or 6 minutes, right. And UCLA only really scored towards the end. So it was 55-53 for a minute. I mean, it's kind of weird that we are getting drummed for poor offense when UCLA and Nick was calling plays every time down the court.
Mm. But at the same time, too, Carrie, this season, our offense, games against Power 5 schools, our showing hasn't been there. We're still winless against a Power 5 school in the States. Just saying. And when that changes, I mean, we've got some opportunities obviously coming up, but we know it's safe to say, John, Cal doesn't read social media, does he? I mean, he's got an assistant that does all the posting for him, and probably that assistant reads all the comments. And probably short of someone has threatened Cal or his family, how much of that feedback does go to Cal? Doc?
I think quite a bit of it.
Do you really?
Does get to him, but I don't think it gets to him. I really don't think he cares. In fact, I've talked to some people who are pretty close to him, and I made the comment, well, Cal should probably be feeling a little bit of heat now. He's probably feeling a little bit of pressure. And their response was, no, he's just having a good old time. He's still doing what he usually does. So good for him, but it is a little bit irritating because you do want your coach to feel the heat. You do want to feel like that he hates to lose these games. And one of the things that I've noticed is that and I hate saying this because as the bottom of the food chain and also the oldest guy on the panel, I never like to say back in the olden days. But in this particular case, if you ignore history, then you're bound to repeat it. But back in the olden days, it was different. There was a different type of passion. When Kentucky lost, people would go into deep depression for 2 or 3 days. They wouldn't be able to get out of bed. Now, there's almost not a sense of, hey, we're sad about this, but it's almost outright pure anger. People just want to get mad. It's not like they really feel invested in the program anymore. They're just mad about the program. So I think that's a big, big difference right now. Kentucky basketball is where it is because of the passion of the fan base. People feel invested in the program. They care. When the Leitner shot goes through, when they lose to Wisconsin, people are down. But now everybody they're just mad. Or they're, worse yet, they're indifferent. That's not good.
Not good. Carrie, 24/7 says Kentucky Calipari trapped in a loveless marriage. I'll speak for myself. Not all marriages last forever. Mine had a 13-year run.
I was 12 years a slave, so I understand.
Oh no, Terry. That's no, Terry.
Okay. All right. Did you not have any say so?
Terry's serious about that. Terry didn't.
No say so, Terry.
Man.
I was married for 12 years. Yeah.
No, but not the.
I'm sorry. What?
Not the slave part.
I was referencing a movie.
I know, but
it was Oscar. Okay, I'm sorry.
No. So I guess staying with that real quick. The marriage have they run their course? Have we run our course? Well, let's Carrie, you answer that. look at the recruiting class we got coming in next year. Now, okay, you can say, all right, it's the same old song and dance, but nonetheless, it's still the top class. But if you think the pressure is on Cal this year, next year is gonna. And if we don't, whatever, we flounder for the rest. Nothing goes right the rest of whatever. He's still around next year, and that class comes in. That's potentially the make or break year with this fan base. When I say the fan base, I'm just a majority, probably excluding. I mean, not us, but Carrie, what say you?
How many years have we been saying this is the make or break year for this fan base? I mean, I'm not kidding. Like, for real. Like, it's every year it seems like, well, we got so-and-so coming in, and Oscar's coming back, and we got CJ Frederick coming in. He's this three-point specialist, and this could be a make or break year. And people went from number 9 to NIL in a span of like, a month and a half. And honestly, with this marriage thing, Cal doesn't talk to his work wife. Cal and Mitch Barnhart do not get along. They do not like each other. They do not talk to each other. And people keep bringing up this lifetime contract thing. I mean, yeah, he may have run his course, but how much is it going to take to get him out? I mean, how much alimony are we going to have to pay?
And who gets the visitation with? Look, there it is. Then the poking the bear. I see who I do. All right, real quick. I said mentioned something about marriage, and says 26 years for her. Or wait a minute, was okay. Gotcha. Michelle, 37 years. Carter, 49 years. Carter, you look like a kid. And people coming in, checking us out. Thanks for hanging with us. 49 years. One more. 50 years. Okay. Go Cats. Yeah, we're still saying, but I tell you what.
Bad paw though. That's a bad looking paw, TB.
Did you not see the first slide, sir? I'm sorry. I'm hijacking. I apologize. Folks.
No. I want to see Terry draw the two birds making out, with the logo.
The thing is, when it comes to Kentucky men's basketball coaches, it never ends well. You're never going to see a Kentucky basketball coach get the Coach K treatment. Rupp had to go because he was old. Joe B. Hall became beloved 30 years after he coached. Mm-hmm. I'm old enough to remember when he left, that wasn't warm and fuzzy. Sutton, okay, like we know. Pitino, I never faulted Pitino for leaving because of the money. No. But Tubby, Billy G, this is not a job you grow old in. It just isn't. It always, because what happens is we get a coach, they do something amazing, and then we make that the floor. Mm-hmm. We make the spectacular the bare minimum. And I understand the passion, and Dr. John's right. That's great. But it's also to the point where being historically good, you can't maintain that forever. I've said it on Twitter. I keep saying it. We really undersold how good 2010 to 2015 was, myself included. Like, we really just kind of like, 4 Final Fours in 5 seasons. That's woo. By Kentucky standards, that's a pretty good thing. So there was bound to be a drop.
Yeah.
I mean, the 2019 year was good. It wasn't for COVID. That was a good year.
And that's the thing too. All I'm asking, we're all upset, right? Watching your team lose, it sucks. All I ask for is people to be honest, because I've got people saying we haven't been good since 2015. I enjoyed
last year.
Monk, De'Aaron Fox. I enjoyed that. I enjoyed going to Kansas and watching Kansas get their breaks beat off of them. I enjoy Elite 8 teams. That's me personally.
I enjoyed the BAM hero. Who's the? There was the third.
Well, no, that was Monk, Fox, and BAM.
No, I'm saying I enjoyed that team as well.
Yeah, the hero PJ Washington team.
PJ Washington.
I enjoyed those teams. I'm probably by myself enjoying Malik Monk going for 47 and De'Aaron Fox going for 30 in the tournament against UCLA. I enjoyed it. It was fun to me.
I
So
saw Keon Brooks going for 20 plus in Kansas last
at
year.
Kansas, it was beautiful to watch in person. There's nothing that's going to top going on the road and doing that. So I understand we're upset, but you have to be honest.
Keon has kind of had a pretty solid year this season too.
I've seen people talk about Cal has only had one elite team since he's been here. Are you shitting me? I've seen people talking about Oscar Tshiebwe. He's selfish. Oscar Tshiebwe baptizes kids on his fucking off days and totes around the Bible, and that guy's not good enough for you? That's beyond passion. It's almost
it's insanity.
Blasphemous. It's almost
blasphemous.
But we're passionate, so I get it.
Yeah. Carter's saying, Van, what does Van always say? They have film on Cal now. Oh.
Yeah. Well, I would say this, though. If you have film on Cal, but Corey brought up the stat that the 4 guys minus Severe Wheeler, I don't know what I can do as a coach. I can't help you put the ball in the ocean. I can just drive you to the beach. And if I drive you to the beach and the wind takes your sail somewhere else, what can I do? Dude, yesterday was absolutely horrible with the shots, man. I thought Reeves was a sharpshooter, like Carrie said, for the last 3 weeks. We've been building stuff where people can shoot when it's game time. That's the same thing last year. Last year I heard was, hey, one thing they're going to be able to do is shoot.
Well, yesterday our guys couldn't hit the ocean if they did shoot it from the boat.
Hey, Kevin, I would be remiss if I didn't say that I've been married also now for 38 years. 36 of those have kind of been like the old ball and chain. So my point is that there's only so much that the human body can take. And the average shelf life of a Kentucky basketball coach outside of Rupp is less than 10 years. And with the amount of pressure that's heaped on the guy, I mean, you could look and see how he's aged over the course of time. Look at that 2012 picture of him standing on the podium with Capilouto and such, and you can see he looks like a completely different person. It's taken its toll. So it's kind of like bad milk. You exceed the shelf life after a period of time. Eventually you're going to get sick. You may survive the next couple of days, but eventually it's going to catch up with you.
Some with the question mark. Some people, for the record, are into ball and chains. I don't know if that was the case for you, John. It's personal. We can discuss later.
At the porn, is it the porn bot thing again, or what?
I'm trying to bait this. Come on. And look, Ann, she's kind of trying to. My bam bam. That sounds kind of, And then you got Vol Steak. If you just say that 3 times, maybe a porn bot shows up too. I don't know. This team, I'm with you, Doc. Well, is this because the media overhypes us too? Because, I'm not necessarily pointing at you, but I'm listening. I caught bits and pieces from that main radio show of the state, and they're espousing this, dynamic team too initially. So they're selling all the goods, about this team, and without these players playing a true game together, because there's a lot of new faces, even though they're older. They're just new players. So go ahead, Terry.
I mean, I could find there's a video clip of every new coach that gets hired everywhere. They all say the same thing. So what are we supposed to say? This team is going to suck? Like, is that what we're expecting people to, as we go into the season, this team is going to be terrible?
He says they do, or we do, or Cal does, but there we go.
So what do you want? What should we say? Because a lot of this stuff is just performative anyway.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, do I think that Cal likes losing? No. Is it going to make me feel better to see him rant and rave and slap a couple of kids around? I guess, but what are we supposed to do?
Who's stay with you, Terry? Who's the 5 right now? 10 games in. Who are the 5 players that the team right now should focus on being on the floor?
I mean, there's only two that really know what they've been doing from the jump, and that's Wheeler and
Outside of them, outside of Oscar and Wheeler, then
I
who's
mean,
who's their supporting cast?
you have to play. I think you have to play Kaysen. He's dynamic, and at this point, you got to go with that lineup that did so well against UCLA. Give me Lance Ware. I tweeted during the game, this is the Lance Ware game. Like statistically and by analytics, that dude shouldn't bring anything to the table. But until they are able to calculate heart and hustle and want to, I know those are generalities, but he had an impact on that game. And then the numbers did bear it out. Like I think he had 5 or 6 rebounds in 12 minutes. Give me that lineup plus Livingston, and let's see what happens. That's the lineup that needs to get some more run. I don't care about floor spacing. Give me 5 ballers.
What about you, Carrie? You seen enough to come up with a 5-some? Or 3? Who's the 3 supporting Wheeler and Oscar?
I really like Kaysen. Lance Ware. I honestly, I don't know. I don't know. I really don't. See, ask me these basketball questions, man, and my head's just still not in it right now. I'm still in football mode. I'm serious. I'm sorry. We got like 3 more weeks of football season. All I've been doing all since, Friday is watching college football, and I stopped to watch the last of the Ohio State North Carolina game, and I watched us. And then I went back to college football. So I mean, I don't know. I don't know how to fix the program. I don't know. They don't pay me for that. They don't pay me the big bucks, so I ain't got the answers.
Corey, what about you? Who you need to see out there on the floor?
Definitely Wheeler and Shibwe. Even though this last game was not great, Wallace. And the last 2 it's a toss up. Part of me still wants to go with Reeves and probably Livingston, maybe.
Yeah, I think that's the lineup too. I think we need still some shooters out there. Doc, what say you? Who's your 5?
I think there are two answers to that question. One is who are they right now? If that were the case, I'd probably put Livingston and maybe Reeves and Wallace out there. Okay. But when you look down the line, I mean, if you had that lineup, are they really going to make a splash in March? I'm not sure they would. I'd almost like to see him kind of roll the dice and see if he can somehow get Damian Collins into the mix and even play Ugana a little bit more, because those 2 guys give you things.
Did they even see the court yesterday?
No, neither one of them did.
Neither one
of them did. Yeah. And he made a mention that he still wanted to try to get Damian out there, but you always want to look for people who can give you things that other people can't have. And those 2 have very, very unique games that I think could pay dividends down the line. Now, you may crash and burn if you put them in and they poop the bed, but I don't know. Right now, I don't think you have a whole lot to lose. Get those guys some playing time.
What say you, Van? And then we'll be done with Kentucky basketball.
I don't think last night you could have put Damian in, and not with that physicality. But it's Wheeler, Kaysen, Reeves, Livingston, Shibwe. That to me is the best lineup, because at least you have guys who can potentially, Kaysen and Livingston can take you off the dribble. Mm-hmm. They're still young. Let's give them some run and see how they progress going into the tournament. I think look, I don't like to say this, but we already know who Jacob Toppin is. He's been here long enough. We know what his
He's that dude's brother that plays with the Knicks.
We know what his floor is. We know what his ceiling is. So that's out. We know what CJ Fred, he might have been the dude, got injured, and now he's lost his steam. Don't know why. We got 2 young guys that we really don't know. And I think those guys should get more run. That's just how I feel. Toppin right now is not giving you anything. So for me, put in Livingston, get Kaysen some run and get him comfortable, and see what we can do in the SEC tournament on. But that'll be my 5, for sure. I mean, and maybe Toppin is better coming off the bench. Some guys are better coming off the bench than starting.
And he'll still remain that brother of the next player. That's guaranteed.
The
Nice
person
segue.
Kevin, real quick, the person
Yeah.
that they pay the big bucks to better figure it out sooner rather than later, because
Oh.
SEC play's coming, and that ain't gonna be pretty.
No, and where are we, SEC, in the totem pole right now? I mean, we're what, fifth best, maybe at best. There's some pretty strong teams in the SEC right now, in that upper echelon. All right, let's go. Let's talk some football. Good week for the football program when it came to the portal, and it looks like there's a plan and there's a rhyme and reason to what Stoops is doing moving forward. We still waiting on the official word on the OC. Carrie, I'll start with you. Vol State says Carrie's about to be let down big time over cornbread-fed Iowa boys.
What does that mean?
What's your rebuttal to that?
Okay, I mean that game's good. That game could be a tough watch all the way around. I don't know. We're gonna
that's
find out.
Might be very painful because we're missing some key players. Saying there, I mean, have you football's your thing? Have you been paying attention to what the football team has done the last week?
Somewhat. It's the portal is such a whirlwind, and it's become such a whirlwind of players, declaring and
Free agency.
It's crazy. It's insane. It's a little bit hard to keep up with, but I think it's interesting that we're looking at these guys, who are coming from MAC teams. So maybe they're good enough to play at UK now, but they weren't good enough to play against UK in September. Okay, yeah, but I like it. I like getting these guys. I like the transfer portal. I think it helps a lot. I think it lets you start planning for next season quicker because you know what you're going to have with these guys coming from the portal. You're able to see them in, on film in actual college games instead of high school, which obviously there's a difference. You hate to lose players to the portal, but sometimes that becomes a good thing too. So yeah, I'm loving this portal and all this transfer stuff. Now, it's kind of hurt the bowl games, I guess, a little bit. Man, Florida, good night, Irene. I don't know if anybody else watched that Oregon State Florida game, but whoa, the portal and the
30-3,
declaring for the draft, man, that hit Florida hard.
Corey, what about you? Football? What was your take on the football news this past week? Or do you know anything else we don't know?
I don't know more than you all know. It's been good. Got the lineman from Alabama who's originally from here. It's nice. Guy from northern Illinois. Looks like we might be getting Larry from NC State, possibly. The QB. My only concern is he's had some issues with his health, with getting injured so far in his career. So, I mean, just what he can be, I think it's a great ad. Ray Davis looks like he's possibly coming here from Vandy, and he ran all over us this season. So I think we're going to clean up pretty well. In terms of players we're losing through it, Justin Rogers might be the only one we'll lose that had any real playing time this year. So I think we'll definitely have.
What was his story? Why did he leave?
That's a definite.
It's not definite. Once again, it's that
Okay.
tweet where he had the guy walking in the peace sign.
Okay, got
You can take it for what it is. It's just my.
Got it.
So I think we're definitely going to be adding more than we're losing. So I'm definitely looking forward to that next season.
Doc, what you got for us football-wise?
Yeah, football-wise, I haven't been really paying a whole lot of attention to recruiting and the transfer portal stuff, so I don't know anything more than what's been floating out there. As far as statistics are concerned, I'm too lazy to dive into it like Corey, so I know nothing about that. X's and O's, I'm kind of an idiot. I'm trying to learn, but I am good at reading moods. And when Stoops came out and spoke to us for the brief few minutes on, I can't even remember what day it was, he seemed like he was in a good mood. So that to me kind of speaks volumes. This is a time of the year which usually normally drives him crazy because he's a routine guy. He likes the cadence of week by week preparation. And when you get into this time of the year when it's utterly chaos, and that's the way he actually described it, he somehow very easily could lose his mind, but he seemed to have it together. He was smiling. He was joking about his shoulder that he had in a sling. So I think things are shaping up.
Carter Hall says this kid committed today, and if anybody can nail this name the first time around,
Wow.
it's a lot. I mean, on Wheel of Fortune, man, there'd have been a lot of.
Can we call him O squared?
Double
He's
O.
on Scrabble.
Oh, wait a minute. Did he commit to us, or he's saying for Syracuse? Wait a minute. The kid committed. So did he commit to us, or was this? I don't understand. Did he commit for us? I don't know. Always say.
No, he committed to Syracuse.
He committed Syracuse. So was he? Yeah. Who is this? Was he on our team?
No.
Okay. All right.
I think he was just throwing the name out there because
Just the name.
Yeah.
Oh, because it's
Crazy.
I mean,
Kevin, we also got to meet Jay Boulware, the new running backs and special teams coordinator.
Thoughts?
And boy, you talk about a guy who was very intense. I mean, he had us all eating out of his hand. We were ready to put on pads and dress out for him after his 5-minute introductory speech. He talked about how much of a teacher he was, how he's good at teaching every single position on the field. I don't know if his actions are back up his words, then I think we can all breathe easy as far as special teams are concerned.
That's good to hear.
Kevin.
Yes, sir.
I thought Terry only quenched his thirst with Gatorade. I don't know
I heard
what that was.
Yeah, what's going on there? Come on, Terry.
I'm sorry, what?
I thought you only quenched your thirst with Gatorade.
We heard the
up.
I do. I love Gatorade. Lemon lime is my favorite flavor.
What'd you just open though?
Yeah.
I'm sorry?
What did you just open?
I drink Gatorade. It's delicious. It gives me the electrolytes I need to come on your show.
Maybe it wasn't Terry.
I'm not here to answer ridiculous allegations about who did what when. We're here to move forward. It's on to the
audio evidence, Terry.
It's on to the bowl game.
I saw what he was drinking.
It's on to the bowl game. Thanks. By Bill Belichick. It's on to the bowl game.
Sorry, that's your Van. Any football takes from you?
Oh, you know, my football take is this. Isn't it a glorious time where our program is in the mix for the top guys that are transferring? Who would have ever thought that the top two, or let's say 2 of the top 5 quarterbacks will want to come to the University of Kentucky? When would you have ever thought that? So that to me means I don't always like it how Stoops treat the players. That's not what I'm accustomed to. But obviously it's a player-driven locker room. He gives the players a lot of leeway. And other guys from other programs love to see that and want to come be in part of this culture. It's kind of weird, dude. I would have never. If Leary is the top quarterback in the portal and we get him, you can't say crap to Stoops ever again because he just got the best quarterback come from another school to come to us. Skip all the other schools, the Clemsons, the Bamas, the Ohio States, the blah, blah, blah. Right. He's coming to Kentucky. Wow.
Is this Cohen 2.0? Because if Liam Cohen is the next guy or returning, which correct me if I'm wrong, unless I'm out of the loop, it looks like that's what's going to happen. Then,
that's the word on the street.
Yeah, that's the word on the street. And the word on the street was too that he had a huge say in Levis coming to Kentucky. Oh, correct?
A huge say. He was all the say.
All
if
the
he's
say.
Not here, Levis doesn't come here.
So it's probably safe to say he's probably in the loop too with
100%.
Yeah, definitely.
If he's not here, we don't get Leary either, and probably we don't get some of these other young receivers. Probably don't stay either. They might go. They might have gone into the portal themselves. So that's one thing he does bring us. He brings us great talent, and maybe Cox from Northern Illinois doesn't come here if he. That's for us to be in this situation. I don't care what anybody says. It's pretty remarkable, and I'm
for the program that wasn't born on third base, right?
Right. Things happen for a reason. And I think we had to have this season because without the two penalties, we're 9-3, and Scangarello is still here.
Potentially.
And people would hate that. Think about that.
Yeah, Michelle Morton. Anyone watch the PNC championship?
I watched a little bit of it.
Golf.
Is it golf?
Yes, golf.
Oh, okay.
Oh, oh my God. Y'all got to watch more sports.
I've tried. I can't do golf.
Kevin, man.
Oh. Those fighting words there, TB.
Oh, it's very polite here. Your corn is not good. Nebraska corns feed corn. Iowa corn is what we eat.
I dare you to change the C to P's. Never mind. All right. This is the cheesy part of the show where we look back. Cheese to P's. You didn't get that. No, never mind.
I got it. Where are the porn bots? Bring them on. Let's go.
Porn bots. Iowa porn greater than Nebraska. All right. Okay. That was.
I'm with either one.
I'm with you. Year in review. Let's do that cheesy topic. It is potentially probably my last show of 2022. So, Carrie, starting with you, what was? Give me your hot 2022 take when it comes to Kentucky sports. Give me one. And we might have more, so just get it going for us.
I mean, honestly, for the couple of bad losses that we had and a couple of bad calls, and we could have been 9-3. My hot take is still that I like this football team. I like what this football team did this year. I like that we're going to a bowl game. I like that we finished with a winning record. I like that we're winning in the transfer portal. I like Stoops. I like the football team. Go football team. I don't know, man. But yeah, that's my hot take is I was not upset with this football season. I really wasn't.
Corey? Hot 2022 take.
Kind of what Carrie says. I like where this is going. It looks like Cohen's coming back. We've got some studs at tight end and wide receiver will be here at least two more years. Hoping the line can get better than what it did this year. Defense looks to be great again next year. So definitely looking forward to football in the bowl game and moving forward. Not the best year for men's basketball and how March ended and how this year started. But as we've seen before, there have been some seasons where it looked pretty meek at the start, and they found a way to get it going. So I'm not going to jump off ship just now, but definitely more looking forward to football than basketball.
Well, you just to piggyback off what you said about kind of the young talent, some true freshmen that made an impact on this team. That's Brown, Key. Now I'm thinking of who's the defensive guy on the line.
Dion.
Yeah. I mean, good God. I mean, then they all got rewarded with, honors, freshmen. All didn't one of them, like one or both or all three? No, I think it was Brown and Walker got national.
Right.
Okay.
And then Josh Caddis at tight end. Even though he's a redshirt, Jordan Dingle as a freshman. I mean, they had tons of talent as freshmen.
I like it. All right, who we got next? Doc, what stood out for you in 2020?
Yeah, I'm an experiences kind of guy, so experiences kind of stand out to me. And to me, some of the most joyful experiences in regard to UK sports as a fan is when Kentucky does something unexpected. The 4 national championships that I've experienced in my lifetime, that 98 run with Tubby probably still brings me the biggest joy when I think back on it. So if I think of joyful experiences this year with Kentucky sports, Kentucky basketball win over Kansas in historic Allen Fieldhouse has to kind of rank right up there. I was there sitting, listening to the Rock Chalk Jayhawk chants and watching their team go down by 20. You don't get much greater thrills than to walk out of the Posey Arena after a big beatdown of their team. Then other things, the Kentucky women's basketball team and their run in the SEC tournament.
That was
completely unexpected. They were left for dead. All of a sudden, they end up winning 3 games. They take the trophy home. Even the Kentucky baseball team this year. I was down there for my first SEC baseball tournament, only packed for one night because Kentucky was supposed to be one and done. They kept winning. Had to go to Walmart to buy more underwear so that I could stay until Thursday. Those are the kind of experiences you remember. So those 3 are kind of the ones that stuck out to me.
You know what I used to do when I was out and ran out of underwear?
Don't say it.
I'm going to say it. I would take a shower in my underwear, wash it all up and hang it. Yeah. You don't be eyeballing me like that, Terry. Do you not? If you only have one pair,
stop, Kevin. Don't, Kevin. Don't. That's bad.
Use the whiteboard, Terry. I'd rather you say it than look at me like that. I don't want to read your mind, but I can read it. What about you, Van? To
me, it's easy. It's Abby Steiner. Abby Steiner to me was the highlight of UK sports. What she did last season after coming from the injury is crazy. And now, and still in 2022, she's the first UK Bowerman winner in school history. That's the Heisman of track and field. So it's easy to me. It's Abby.
Corey knows what's up. Who we got? Terry, what's your 2022?
How about Coach Johan and the men's soccer team? Everybody remember those guys?
That was a good one.
They were undefeated. Does anybody remember? Okay, I remember that.
Yeah.
I remember that. That was great. They went undefeated. They played well. Nobody gave a shit, but I rooted for them on. So they're Kentucky. I'm a Kentucky fan, so I rooted them on too. So awesome stuff, Coach Johan and them undefeated through the regular season men's soccer team. So good job. All UK athletics is not on fire.
No, there's not.
There's enough to go around. There's enough to look around and take in. There's the Abby Steiners. There's all kinds of stuff. You just have to look for it a little bit.
And you do a good job of keeping me up to date with something other than basketball and football.
Watch more sports, Kevin Hale.
I know. Gotta do it. Gotta do it. What was the one thing, Carrie, that in 2022 Kentucky sports related that you were like, all right, that was it, and you're shaking my damn head moment? Was it St. Peter's? I mean, is it just not to beat a dead horse here, but
I mean that's definitely for sure up there. It's you just look at that and you're just like, you just gotta walk away. I mean, that's in my opinion.
That Oscar after the game is what literally just broke my heart. I mean, the kid lives for Kentucky, for the program, and but anyways, go ahead. So, sorry.
Yeah, I mean that's definitely for sure right up there, absolutely. And then I'm trying to think of a football moment this year that I was just like, probably that whole South Carolina game. I just sat in the stands and shook my head the whole entire time, like, why? So yeah, I guess those would be my two.
No Levis, but that was Rodriguez's first game back, right?
Yeah.
No,
that was his. Yeah.
It was his. Oh, that wasn't his. That
Second was his second.
Oh, yeah. You're right. Okay. Corey, what's a low point?
For each of the major teams, obviously men's basketball, pretty hard to top St. Peter's. Losing to a 15 seed is never. I mean, in hindsight, it doesn't look as bad. St. Peter's got to the Elite Eight, but still, it's just embarrassing. Football, probably the Vandy game. It's probably the lowest point. Definitely should not have lost to them. Women's basketball, I think, happened recently. They lost to Murray State a few days ago. That was
still 2022. So
they should have not lost to Murray State. So those are my low points for the three major ones.
Who we got? Doc, low point for you. Something
that's easy. I got 3 of them, and they're St. Peter's, St. Peter's, St. Peter's. Yeah, case closed. That's it.
Triplets, huh? Okay. What about you, Van? Low point?
Ole Miss game.
That one
great play to
right.
Barry and Brown. Don't short circuit. Settle down. Make sure the first thing quarterback does, surveys the line of scrimmage. Make sure everybody is set, ready. When they clap now, whatever he says, he throws a great down ball to Dane Key. That's ball game.
It is.
That hurt. When it's all right there in front of you, that hurt. That Ole Miss game, we missed an extra point. Just think about it. We missed an extra point. If we don't miss that, we can kick a field goal at the end. Like, it's just a whole bunch of stuff in that game. Barry and Brown had a touchdown. One guy trips his feet up, and then we don't even get points out of that possession. Like, that's a whole bunch of stuff happening in that game. That's a low point.
About that point. Yeah. Terry, low point. I know you're Mr. Op.
That was the dumbest Kardashian-like controversy for this fan base.
Say it out loud for those who just listening to the audio.
Born on third base. It was dumb. Stoops was setting fire to stuff. Cal setting fire to stuff. Mitch was setting fire to stuff. It was absolutely the dumbest thing. We're all in the same boat. It was dumb. It was dumb when they said it. It was dumb that we kept the fires going. It was dumb.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that was bad.
All right. Nationally, Carrie, non-UK, something sports related that was your talking point of 2022.
And you never let me talk about it. You wouldn't let me talk about what's going on. I'm going to say Messi winning the World Cup and completing all his trophy gettings that he could ever get. The guy, it was great. And that World Cup, that was a great moment. And that game was phenomenal. And I don't hate the World Cup in December. So, yeah, I will say Messi getting his World Cup. And the guy's collected more hardware than anybody on the planet. And he's just an incredible athlete, an incredible talent. And, he could be the king of Argentina at this point.
Corey, non-UK.
Not gonna lie, I didn't think a lot about this one.
You can come back. I could.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. Doc, non-UK.
Yeah. A couple things about low points too. I was thinking about UK figures that we lost this year, and I think Joe B died in January, right? So that was a big loss, and of course Mike Pratt losing him. So those were times that, as always, when you lose somebody, you tend to reflect on them and their careers, and there's a certain sadness associated with that. But once again, in terms of nationally, the high points, experiences, what can get any higher than the Bengals and going to the Super Bowl? Here, I've been covering them for 5 years, in which they defiably stunk every single year. And then all of a sudden, they sneak into the playoffs. They beat, I think it was the Raiders, and then the Titans and Chiefs, and I'm making sequential stops at all of those, and all of a sudden you end up being in SoFi Stadium for a Super Bowl. I mean, as a fan, you always want to go to a Super Bowl. As a media member, that's almost like the pinnacle. nothing gets bigger than the NFL, and nothing in the Super Bowl is bigger in the NFL than the Super Bowl. So to be there, that was a real highlight for me. And also, Coach K losing his last game against North Carolina was pretty darn good too. I didn't make it to that one though.
It's all right. Van, what about you?
Prime time, Deion Sanders. Everything about 2022. That's my man. My dad played football a little bit at Southern University, so I'm a big SWAC guy. Followed Southern all my life, and for him to bring that national attention to the SWAC meant everything to me. And for him to leave, it's bittersweet, but I totally understand. And I think they have the right guy to back him up. The only bad part about it, he's not prime time. There's something about when a guy enters the room, you feel his energy. There's no one else that's going to be that. But he brought some nice attention to a great conference. Coach Robinson to prime time. Hopefully it can continue, but prime time to me is the national news for me.
Isn't the story too with Jackson State is they basically screwed over the football program when
it's a bunch of stuff.
Okay.
It's a bunch of stuff that, don't want to get into the positive because there's both sides, as there's no matter how flat you make a pancake, there's two sides to it. There's always two sides to the story. But Deion brought a lot, dude. I went to Jackson State maybe a couple years ago for a basketball tournament. I saw the facilities. What the facilities are now are not where they were 3 or 4 years ago. Right. He brought a lot of great things to that college that you cannot ever take back from that we won't know about unless you go there, because positive news sometimes don't get out. He helped more than just the athletic department. He brought some things to that university that would not have been there without his influence.
Got it. Terry. Goodbye, Serena, is what the whiteboard says.
We said goodbye to one of the all-time greats, and I've seen a lot of things, best athlete this year or whatever, and I'm like, does Serena Williams stop existing? It's time we start, or I should say stop putting qualifiers on great athletes. She was great, period.
Mm-hmm.
Men, women, whatever. And so I still think one of the most underrated stories in American sports history is Venus and Serena. From where they came from to where they got and everything they had to fight along the way. I mean, I know we love the Mannings at the Manning cast, but their dad was an NFL quarterback. But for the Williams sisters to get to where they were, and for Serena to do everything she did for as long as he did, that's a salute from this guy.
They are pretty badass. Yep. Anything else stood out for you, Carrie, in 2022?
Honestly, not that I can think of off the top of my head, to tell you the truth. I'm sure
you had 12 months to come up with an answer. More than one answer.
I don't know. There's a lot of stuff that goes on. I drink a lot and things tend to blur. I don't know.
We blur that. Okay. Corey, did you come up with anything?
Well, kind of like Carrie in tennis, Rafa Nadal setting the record for most Grand Slams won. It's pretty.
Did you just Google like highlights of 2022?
Of course not. No, never.
Okay.
It's pretty crazy when one sport you can argue the three greatest players to ever play at sport are all playing at the same time, and Rafa and Roger and Novak all playing at the same time. I'm not a huge men's tennis fan, but I mean, I know I do follow it a little bit. I know it's pretty crazy to think that, like I said, probably the three greatest ever to do it are all playing at the same time, and for Rafa to be the top of those three is saying something.
Anybody else, Doc? Anything else? 2022.
No, I really want to kind of second what Terry said about Serena. I mean, an argument can be made that she's the GOAT, not with any qualifiers at all when you think about her accomplishments. I mean, 23 Grand Slams. I went up to Cincinnati to the Western and Southern Open just so that I could see potentially one of her last matches. And to me, it was emotional because you knew what she had to go through in order to make those achievements, and then the significance of those achievements on top of that. It ended up being, I think, her next to last match that she ever played. I mean, it was the tournament before the US Open where she retired. So those are memories that I'll always treasure of seeing her one last time live and in person.
I like that. What about you, Van? Anything else?
You know what? I should have pulled it out. I should have used my Houston Astros. For all the freaking naysayers that
He had it. He had it.
You can take that crap off. For all the ass hats that had to say something about the damn drums, you know what? You know what we did this year? We ain't need no freaking drums, and we still drummed the hell out of.
So you're acknowledging the drums, just making sure we get this right, man.
If people think that we were the only ones that was freaking stealing signs, I will sell you. I don't even want to talk about it. I will sell you the damn corn bot for free.
They're the only ones that not good enough to not get caught.
No, we were the only one that they want to set an example for, because I don't even want to get into the other teams because I don't want to.
They weren't even punished. They shouldn't.
How were we not punished?
Nothing happened.
Nothing happened.
How are we not punished? No, we lost our damn manager.
Did that happen because of that?
Yes.
They
lost
had
our manager.
I think they got fined a bunch.
Yeah, but money's money. But we lost our manager.
But there is an asterisk.
No, there's no asterisk.
Not anymore. Good job, Van.
And hey. In 2023 is repeat. Back to back.
Those salaries, man.
The whole squad coming back except for Orlando.
Crazy.
Yeah, and we good.
Crazy. Ball Stakes says Tennessee quarterback Nico, the $8 million quarterback, wears number 8. Is that?
I hope he lives up to that $8 million because he's not gonna have some of those receivers that he looked at this year. I hope he lives up to that contract that he signed with the NIL, because it's gonna be interesting when things go south.
You know, one guy you talked about some of the people we lost within our program this year, but one guy that we, as a sports fan, recently lost was Mike Leach, who has ties to the school. You're talking about one of the most entertaining characters in college football, period. His sound bites. I would literally go turn a Mississippi State game on, time it to where it's about halftime, just to get that live soundbite if I could. Carrie, I mean, you're being a college football fan, Mike Leach fan.
Yeah, absolutely, for sure. I mean, I like quirky, offbeat people, and he was a quirky, offbeat person who was also an incredible football mind. So what was not to like? And he just seemed so approachable, and also the fact that people asked him more non-football questions than they did football questions, and he never got mad about it. And he would answer them. If you stuck a microphone in Nick Saban's face and said, "Coach Saban, what's your take on Halloween candy?" Saban would look at you and walk away.
Yep,
Mike Leach would give you a 20-minute dissertation on the best and worst Halloween candy, and he wouldn't let you leave until he was done. I mean, what's not to like about that? I know he had some controversies in past, but overall, I think he was an interesting person. He was a good football coach. I really enjoyed watching him on the sidelines this year at the UK game. He never showed any real emotion. He never got angry. He never got happy. He talked to 3 people the whole game, and he had his plays on that little note card, And he was just a really interesting person. And I think a real loss for college football. It really was.
All right. Anything else, guys, for 2022? Niner Mike says Bill Russell. I think you missed it. You need a fourth L, Terry. Good job, Van, on going one for three, 1 out of 3 against the NL East in the World Series. Is that what he said?
Well, we lost to Washington. We lost.
Niner Mike is a Braves fan.
Oh,
Right.
shit. Yeah, not Mike, you lucky. You are lucky. I'm gonna give you that. That we let losing at home sucks, man. But let's keep going. I don't want to talk about that.
All right, man. I think the hard stop at 10 o'clock is a reality.
Oh man,
I know.
that's a first.
It is. Where we at? Any? All right. I guess let's go final shots. For everyone, this is will be the official final shots for this roundtable for the show for 2022. Carrie, I'll start with you with your blue Santa hat.
Kind of a two-parter here. You've got a college football bowl game on every single day, and actually multiple games on every single day except today and January the 1st, because heaven forbid that the NFL share January the 1st on a Sunday with anyone. But you can watch college football from tomorrow, all the way until January the 2nd, and make sure also that in addition to the bowl games, that you watch the FCS National Championship game against North Dakota State and South Dakota State. That is going to be a great game. Both those teams can put up points. I am totally rooting for the Jackrabbits because, as I said last week, I do not like the Bison. And also, I will reiterate, as I did last week, there might have been bourbon involved in some of my dialogue last week. But yeah, thanks again to you guys on this panel. I really appreciate it. I really do. I'm going to get misty again, but yeah, as being a female sports type person who's super obviously into football and especially college football and, likes to espouse my opinions, I appreciate you all giving me a forum to do so and actually respecting me.
In the morning and still respect you. Just saying,
I
we do,
appreciate
and
it.
that's a joke.
And
obviously,
you leave me that you leave me enough money for the Uber and coffee later, so I appreciate it. I really do.
Ixnay on the Uber, the money on the nightstand day. No, it's Venmo these days. I Venmo. Hold the final shot. I gotta ask this. I forgot to bring this up real quick. Starting with you, Carrie. Satterfield jetting to Cincinnati from Louisville, and then he's there at the did he? I don't know.
He wasn't. Okay.
But he was interviewed. There. But yeah. So real quick, Satterfield.
You see, what are you smoking? What drugs are you on? What are you thinking? I don't even know.
Majority of the fan base is not feeling.
I'm sad that Louisville didn't keep him because he's an idiot. He can't coach football. He's a total that UC got rolled by Louisville yesterday in a bad game, and I hope they get used to that because that's what's coming for him with Satterfield. And Kevin, real quick, I really liked the fact that they had Deion Branch coaching Louisville yesterday. I liked it. He did a good job.
Great gesture, man. Yeah, hey, he's Louisville legend. Corey, Satterfield, real quick.
It's laughable. I mean, since he was in the playoffs, was it last year, right? I think.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. I got a feeling since he could have gotten someone better than Scott Satterfield, but I mean,
is there history with Satterfield in Cincinnati?
Not
I didn't think so.
He can still live in the same house.
More or less, yeah.
That's about it.
John, anything for Sat?
I don't think it's so much what the Cincinnati fan base thinks about the hire, but when you look at the Louisville fan base and see how glad they are to get rid of him, I think that's what speaks volumes. I've got a lot of Louisville friends, and they say they couldn't have ended up in a better situation than they are right now. So more power to them.
Yeah, there you go. Van Satterfield, anything?
I can't believe that they hate Satterfield. No, I'm just joking. Look, here's the thing that gets me though. And I'm not a Kentuckian, but it's just amazing that people think that hiring Jeff Brom is gonna magically just cure all the ills that happened in Louisville and Cardinal Stadium, or I'm sorry, whatever they call that damn
Cardinal Stadium
dump over there, whatever they call it. I don't know what they call it anymore.
Mm.
But just because you hire a guy that is an alum doesn't necessarily mean that he can snap his fingers and you're gonna go back to the heyday.
And Louisville should know that. That's the only thing I would say is to temper their expectations. Oh, hiring someone that played for us a long time ago to come back and coach? That sounds great. I mean, whatever, man. Good for them. Good for them.
Good for them. All right. So there was that. Corey, final shot for you, sir.
It's a two-parter. One is like a personal gain, and then the other's kind of piggyback what Dr. John said. Some losses for our family of Cat fans. The season I started to do stats working next to Tom Leach, and I'm one season in, and I still can't believe it, honestly. Yeah, thank you. Well, it's crazy to think when Tom started calling games, I was 12 in 97, and if you told me when I was 12 I'd be sitting next to Tom one day,
Wow.
I would not. So
Saying it that way is pretty bad. Yeah.
Still pretty crazy to think that I'm doing it, but I'm loving it, and I get to work with them for the bowl game, which is pretty awesome.
Wow.
And then secondly, to piggyback on what Dr. John said, I'm going to try and make this quick, but we did lose a lot of people in the UK family. Joby Hall, January 15th, 93 years old. Daryl Bishop passed away on February 8th. He was 71. He only played 5 games for the basketball team, but he's mostly known for football. He still leads the UK all time in career interceptions with 14. Jerry Bell, March 28th. He was 63 years old. Was a 1988 freshman All-American from Louisville, played football. Walter Hirsch, May 3rd, 92 years old. He was on the 1948, 1949, and 1951 national talent teams, men's basketball.
Sure.
Reggie Warford, May 26th. He was 67 years old. He was the first African American to play 4 years at UK and graduate. It's huge. Dr. John mentioned Mike Pratt, June 16th, 73 years old. We all know what Mike meant to the program, both as a player and sitting alongside Tom for 20-some seasons. Guy Morris, September 5th, 71 years old, assistant and a head coach here. Great impact to the program. And then finally, Mike Leach, obviously, December 12th, 61 years old. I would say the air raid is probably the biggest thing that's happened to college football since the forward pass. So
that's it. Yeah. Wow. Good take there, Corey. Appreciate it. John, final shot, sir.
Yeah, thanks for doing that, Corey. But if I look back on 2022, I realize that the one consistency that I found is that I spend too much time on the computer. You know, I'm on social media a lot more than I should be, and I stumble across all these shows. And I discovered that the most important aspect of our lives isn't what we do, but it's in the relationships that we maintain. And even more importantly than that, the influence that those relationships have on other people. And when you talk about shows like this or Van's Locker or Terry's Cats Talk Wednesday, Girls Beer Sports, it seems like that the interaction and the relationship between the people on there is what makes those things work. And so I just want to thank you guys. You know, I told you earlier before we came on, Kevin, that it was kind of thankless for you to do these, but they don't just miraculously appear by themselves. It takes some organization on your part. So, as we get on here and as we talk to each other, and hopefully we're informative and hopefully somewhat entertaining, but you never know what influence what we say may have on somebody else. We may be able to brighten a day. We may be able to change your line of thinking. So I guess the bottom line is, you guys are doing great. I don't get to come on here on a regular basis, but just keep it up, man. You're killing it. So you all have a Merry Christmas and just keep doing what you've been doing.
Really appreciate that. Yeah, to me, it's just fun to do on a Sunday night, hanging out with some good people talking about, our Kentucky Wildcats. Now, granted, it's probably safe to say that, with this being, a lot of our conversations arguably is subjective, it's opinion, but probably when you look at it, Corey is really the only guy that's telling the truth because he's always got the facts with the stats. So, and then, I mean, the whiteboard doesn't lie, does it, Terry? All right. What do you? Happy holidays. There you go. Van, give me your final shot, sir.
Well, first of all, I am flabbergasted. It's blasphemous. It's absolutely downright horrendous that Corey didn't say my name when he was 12 years old watching football. Looking at how can you not say that? Come on, all right.
Well, to be fair, in '97 you weren't with UK anymore, so
that's right. That's true. That was a good point. When you were 11 in '96, yeah.
And he did remind us that someone on this panel does not hold the interception record either.
I damn sure don't. Jeez, you're lucky to. I don't even want to talk about those years. But my final shot is Mitch Bernhardt, and we need to give that man a lot more kudos than we are giving him. Just because he doesn't operate the way you want him to operate, just because he doesn't do the things that you personally don't want him to do, doesn't mean he's a bad AD. That guy has done so much for this institution and for the programs at the institution, because when I left Kentucky, the women's softball team was horrendous. I know they just got started, but the way that program has progressed, the way the women's basketball program has progressed, the way the swimming and diving program has progressed, the way the track and field program has progressed is quite honestly tremendous. And for him to keep elevating the facilities, we're gonna get a new track and field indoor facilities soon. And football is finally getting theirs. And it's like what he has done for this institution is sorely not appreciated because of some damn beer drinking at a damn football game and some checkerboards on a damn uniform. If that's really what you got to bitch about an AD, kudos to him.
Good take, Van. Terry, final shot, sir. We're in this together. The whiteboard says we are. Elaborate, please.
I know social media gets a bad rap, and there's a lot negative to it, but I profess that my life is so much better because of social media. Social media, like everything else, is a tool. It's all about how you use it. Is a hammer, you got a hammer in your hand. It's a tool if you use it properly. It's a weapon if you use it improperly. So social media is a tool. I've been able to cover Kentucky sports for going on a decade now because of social media. Vinny and I met on social media. We started doing Cats Talk Wednesday. I've met all you folks on social media. I met my wife on social media. So a lot of the stuff we blame on social media is just because that's what people are, So I just say we're all in this together, and it's one of those things. As soon as we realize that, we'll be better. So it's been a great year. I'm here in beautiful Iowa, getting ready to watch a ball game, another bowl game between Iowa and Kentucky. They don't play for 100 years. They're playing twice in the same calendar year. I just want to have a happy home football, guys. That's all I want.
Twice in the same calendar. I didn't think of it that way.
I didn't realize that either.
Twice in the same calendar year.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's fun. But I'm here. I'm thankful for everybody that listens. I'm thankful for these nights with you folks. As I always do, mental health awareness. It's very, very important. Don't let games get you down. Don't let other things get you down. Reach out. I know this is a tough time of year for a lot of people. It's tough for my family. My oldest brother would have been 62 last week. Still missing my dad. But, whatever is going on, reach out. And I'm so thankful that I do have people to reach out to. So thank you for everybody that listens and watches, and you folks that get to talk to me with the dry erase board and my Gatorade. Thanks, Corey.
Always. I absolutely love doing this on a Sunday night with you guys, and it's pretty much the same company I keep every week. And John, you do make your appearances as you can. You always have a spot, but it's just great banter. And then, to Terry's point, we're in this together, man. Just for me to everyone else, happy holidays. Check on check on people that you haven't heard from in a while. I have this year is the worst personal year for me, losing my father, my ex-father, who was still a very important person in my life to that last day. My nephew through suicide, and very brutal year for my family. But there's, when I sit back and take a breath, and there's still a lot of things to be appreciative of, present company, and just continue maintaining the relationships that we do, and just be nice, be compassionate to people. It will go a long way. Again, Terry, Carrie, Van, Corey, Doc, thanks so much for doing this round of shots, concluding the 2022 year. I will watch more football. Maction, I got to get that.
Pac-12 after dark.
Yeah, after dark, all that good stuff.
Ain't nobody watching that.
At programs with asterisks.
Watch football.
Yeah. Good stuff, guys. Round of shots. You can find us on all the podcast platforms. Round of shots. Wishing everyone a good night, good week, good holiday season. We'll be back in 2023 talking more UK stuff. Everyone, peace out. Much love. Take care. Be safe.